Smooth transition, and there we go. Hello and welcome to the next episode of Dinked, the CSGO podcast. Today we have a love story of corruption and integrity commissions. As you can tell, a lot of fucking shit's happened in the CS scene, and, well, frankly, I couldn't cover it alone. So, of course, here I have Puffin. Because Puffins, silent at sea. On land, males often give a pig-like grunt while flicking their hair back to attract a female. So, ladies, if you're watching, this is your guy. Puffin, how are you feeling about this?
I am so lit. Jesus, what an introduction, man. I love it. Also, just testing out the new mic and letting the Corona beard grow out and, just chilling,
Everyone has a Corona beard at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, well, how do you want to start? I guess tournament results should be a good way to start. So, of course, we have Blast Premier, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anything kind of like caught you off with Blast?
Well, Blast Premier, it was in some ways, expecting, and in other ways not, because like all year Vitality has been the best team, and Astralis as a second place team, and Vitality, I mean, they just show you how to incorporate the 6-man roster like we talked about earlier, and they just like they know how to play with Saivu, and Saivu is just like, it feels like he's just becoming better the more he's playing. I mean, it's actually insane.
Yeah, without a doubt. And on topic of Saivu, on topic of other players, for instance, let's get into what we're going to be drinking today. So, do you want to show us what you're drinking first, Puffin? And
yes.
And work from there.
So I have this lovely Tullamore unopened,
Oh.
and then I'm gonna mixing it with a bit of Pepsi Max, because I'm a student. I don't know.
I've
Chilling.
been told that.
What about you?
I told someone in the chat that we're going to have a £1 donation for every shot that I take.
Oh, dang.
So, Ollie, I have what is French vodka here. You can see that there. I don't have a glass, so I will just be taking swigs of this over the course of the evening until this is gone. Then, of course, we'll reach behind me and we'll grab another form of vodka. As well as that, Ollie and M&J, thank you both so much for the subscriptions. It's a great way to kickstart this, and I'll thank you now rather than later when I'm probably too drunk to form a coherent sentence.
And then we suddenly gonna like spill off and talk about Middle Eastern dictators or something,
Yeah, I think the best part is when we get questions from the chat.
Yeah.
Spiraling about random shit for God knows how long. But anyway, bottoms up to you, Puffin.
Yeah, I'm taking it now. First sip. Cheers, bro.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I tell you what, French vodka. I don't usually take French vodka. Usually I prefer Absolute. And that's the people I go to for flavored vodka. I won't lie, but their raspberry vodka is fucking disgusting. It is rancid. It's like gargling on sewage water.
I agree.
French raspberry vodka. I don't know what the French have done to their raspberry vodka. For some reason, this is the best. So, yep, we will be shotting some very lovely raspberry vodka over the course of a stream. But yeah. So, sorry, Puffin.
No, I'm just gonna say, like, the classic raspberry from Bacardi. It's a Bacardi Ras. It's the classic.
Raspberry.
Yeah, that's yeah. They do raspberry and strawberry, and it's more of like a rum, but it's actually incredible as well for hitting that sweet spot.
Yeah. This Christmas is gonna hit me in the wallet like nothing else. But I tell you what, fuck it, who cares? But yeah, have an argument. Tell you what, Puffin, because you of course know every borough of England very well. You a fan of the east side or west side of? I assume of Cambridge is what we're
Yeah.
right now.
Well, since I am a Liverpool supporter, it must be the west side, more like north, So, die-hard Liverpool fan for 10 years now.
Yeah. You support football more than most English people I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, M&J. There we go. Looks like we are west side here. So, 3 episodes in, I still don't understand what the show's about. Strom is, I'll be completely honest with you, man. I don't understand what the show's about. Puffin kind of pulls me in with the promise of booze, and we just talk, I guess. it's meant to be like kind of bi-weekly, isn't it? But
Yeah.
usually one of us is either too hungover or like trapped at a friend's house or just unable to do it. So it's becoming about once a month, give or take.
Whenever we
talk
feel
about
like it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. We just talk about CS and other things to do with it and just how we feel about the scene in general. But I can drink to that, I can.
Yeah, you know what? Same. Cheers.
Ugh, that's
Amazing
vodka.
stuff.
It has a warmth to it, doesn't it?
You know what? The problem is, this is tasting well tonight. So
Oh,
it can only lead one way, you know.
You might see a very drunk puffin.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. But yeah, so we've spoken about Blast a little bit and how Vitality have been able to do 6-man rosters. And again, I think there was no real surprise in the results to that. Tell you what, interesting show match we did, or show match we did see. What do you think of Astralis versus Liquid, the match that was played yesterday, I believe it was?
Yeah.
It's kind of the first time they've played against each other for almost a year now. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, a quote I have found here from ZE Frey. I don't need a trumpet for you to know I'm coming. I simply arrive. And I mean, Astralis just arrived for the tournament, you know. Honestly, it's just, you know, stride and true, like an old classic, like from 2019 and back from 2018 as well. Just finishing this horrendous year off with a classic of, with the Liquid and Astralis meeting in the final. I mean, it's just sums up the year perfectly.
Yeah, without a doubt, it was a really, really good series, and so I'm glad that we were able to kind of end the year on that. Topic of series. Do you want to move on from Blast to go to UFCA and my Let's Play with them?
Oh yes, please let me hear the juicy story.
Okay, so a drink to kick this one off. But,
Yeah. Let's do it.
Right. So essentially, UFCA. Right. We'll start with essentially how I was contacted through Vortex. We were told this is a Ukrainian tournament. It's about 10. They're planning on doing 10 cups with a LAN final. Per cup, it's about 100 best of threes. So that includes a open qualifier, closed qualifier, group stage, Swift stage, playoffs. That's a big fucking tournament, and they want to do that for 10 cups. So, in a caster's eyes, if the pay is semi-good per map or per game, then that is fucking yes! Because, we don't have any job security whatsoever. So, after doing that, we go into the league, and I'm not gonna like be biased about this. I'll say it how it comes up. We went into our first match, and just like that, second I press play, 100 viewers. Like, okay, so it's probably going to be a fairly big tournament if it starts like that, you know? Nothing. That viewership number doesn't change for the entire thing. There's only one active chatter, and this is for an 8-hour broadcast. There is no one. I remember, Puffin, I got you to come in and kind of sit on one of these games, and it was, again, 120 viewers. None of them said anything.
I noticed.
So, definitely, like, telltale signs of view botting. But I suppose, I think every tournament's guilty of doing a little bit of view botting at some point in their lives. So we went on with that, and it's getting tedious. Matches keep going on. Teams are kind of complaining about how the admin isn't very good, which is quite interesting. Because the admin is a guy called Hero Power, and for those who've worked in the scene before, Hero Power is a god tier admin, like a actual god tier admin. So the fact that he's got servers where the GoTV doesn't even finish the game, where at 15 to 14 the server restarts, which restarts the GoTV as well, meaning on broadcast we don't know who's won or if it's going to overtime. The fact that's happening means that we actually just can't cast. We can't hype anything up because we don't get the final round. So, again, this is the real Hero Power. This is kind of
wait. Did it really like even if we went to overtime, just finish the GoTV?
Yep.
What?
So what I resorted to doing was I knew the issue is all of them spoke Russian apart from me and the other English broadcast team, and they kind of spoke broken English to us. So for the I kind of approached it was at the end of every single game when it inevitably broke and we weren't able to cast the final round, I would kind of act surprised and go, oh, that's not meant to happen. Oh, well, yeah, I'll try and have word with them and see if we'll fix it. We'll get back to you guys in a bit. Say something in Discord, hey, the servers are breaking. Hero Power would go, huh, that's weird. They would never hear, they won't be fixed. Nothing happens. Like, one day they managed to get it down, so there's only half a round before that we miss. But, like, it doesn't work. Alright? Right, Kremer, you fat fuck, start taking more shots. Alright, fuck you, Wally. Let's take some more shots.
Yeah, we'll take some more.
This is an hour-long. Well, it's meant to be an hour-long podcast, so go fuck yourself. All right, but anyway, so we get back from UFCA. It's just not working. Like, it's the servers are breaking. All this stuff's going to shit. We end up with got an announcement about 4 or 5 days in from one of these teams, and it's X team has been disqualified from the tournament for match fixing. So everyone in the broadcast team was like, fuck's sake, I'm not exactly surprised, but for fuck's sake. And so we end up with, team being kicked for match fixing. Is what it is. Their teams go to default, tournament continues progressing. About a day of lull, and we continue broadcasting. Next day comes forward, and I'll take a shot before I can tell you what's happened here. There, bottom does this. Now I've suddenly realised that I'm getting £1 for every shot I take, so Ollie, thank you very much for the £3 so far. But this is...
It's just going in, man. Bring
Absolutely,
it down.
Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, we get word from one of these tournaments, word from one of the teams that had been kicked from the tournament, and they essentially said, we weren't match fixing. One of the admins approached us and told us if we don't match fix, they'll announce that we're match fixing, and we'll be kicked from the tournament and would be blackballed from every betting website there is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like, oh, fuck.
That's like
Literally.
that's like on a totally different level.
Now, there are some good teams in this league, like reputable teams like Fate, Singularity, Tricks. Like, these are some, teams that have fairly good credibility. The second this announcement comes up, all of them drop out. Every single one of them. There's like half the teams that are kind of clinging on are still playing, but for the most part, all the teams with a fairly big kind of background all just leave. And so, as a broadcast team, we stop broadcasting for a day just for them to. We should say to the admins, we're going to stop broadcasting. Give us some evidence that you're, that they're just match fixing. You haven't done anything, and we'll keep broadcasting. It's fine. Sometimes teams can be bad losers. It's what it is. They don't come back. They don't give us anything. It's like, oh, fuck's sake, this is really going to shit now. So we end up going back, and after again a few more days pass, we're like, okay, we'll keep broadcasting. You're on your last legs though. Like, please start giving us because to tournament's credit, they paid us casters 50% in advance, like that. They offered for the teams competing, they offered to put the prize money into an independent arbitrator, so that the teams were guaranteed to see their prize money. But that's all they done to prove that they're reputable.
Yeah.
So that all of course had happened. So that all happened there. That all kept going on and on. Whatever. That's the back and forth that happened between my boss or guy who was running the talent called Kieran, between Kieran and the owners of the league. And so they continue talking, they continue arguing, yada yada. Keep casting a few more days. This is when you come in, Puffin. I get you to start watching these games because as a caster, doing a solo cast for like 7-8 hours straight is really fucking monotonous, and you have to try and sound exciting that whole time, and it's just difficult. Like, any caster who tells you that they can cast 4 best of 3s in one day alone without any chat interaction, sounding hyped for the whole thing, they're talking out their fucking ass. All right, it's genuinely difficult to do. Eventually, he gets DQ'd. Right, now, we get a message from Kieran. Morning of the next day. All right, now, Kieran, he's a psychopath. He wakes up really early in the morning. So I get a message about 8 o'clock in the morning going, we've stopped the coverage. We're just no longer working with them. UFCA, not touching them. Not working with them anymore. So like, okay, what have they done now? Eventually, there's a company called Grid. Now, Grid, they run, for those who don't know, Grid runs the analytics behind every single tournament. So, not every single tournament, but most big tournaments. They get all the data from these tournaments, and I don't know what they do with it. They're kind of secretive, but they're a very reputable company. They're a very well-known company, and for those in the scene who have heard of them, they know them as this very credible, very professional source. Personally, working with them scary as fuck because they're grid, but like at the end of the day, they get results. They're very trustworthy, and they've earned that title. They've earned that respect. Essentially, this UFCA tournament had been claiming that Grid was endorsing the tournament, and that's the reason teams have been entering, because Grid's, a very trusted source has gone, these guys are solid, so everyone's been entering this tournament. We see the interactions between UFCA and Grid, and the final message from Grid is, please stop using Grizz, please stop using the name of Grizz in your broadcasts. And that's the final message of it. And so, so they've been lying about Grid to get teams to sign up, and then of course, if they're lying about that, they're probably lying about the team that's been kicked for match fixing. So this all started to string together like, okay, this tournament's looking kind of illegitimate. Bear in mind, their prize pool, 750,000 fucking euros.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
They've done nothing in the past, and I'm just coming on that much money. Like, what the fuck? It's so they get that much money secured. They go, clearly. The way I'd seen it, the way I've kind of pieced this together is they put a small prize pool, 25k. They get the government funding for that, but then they fix every single match. So as the tournament goes on, they accumulate enough money to fund the other ones, and that's the kind of snowball effect they were aiming for. Yeah. Complete speculation. Again, I could be very wrong. I'm just working with the information I have, and there went this whole time, from about 5 days ago to today, I've been speaking to Russian journalists, English journalists, all of which going, we've heard this tournament's illegitimate, your name's on the Wikipedia, what can you tell us? And it's like, I mean, here's some screenshots to show I don't have a fucking clue what's going on. Here's the owners, here's the discords, and every single person goes, that's not Hero Power, this admin, that's not the admin, these owners, no one's heard of them. All of the Discord accounts were created this month, like December 6th. Like, it's fucking crazy. And so, again, that was the shit show of UFCA. I've been speaking to loads of fucking journalists and different reporters and all that. We just kind of decided, we're going to pull the plug on this. So, on that note, you're a caster who's happy to work 4 best of 3s a day from now to what's going to essentially be mid-February. Go contact UFCA. Just pray you don't have a reputation on the line.
But you see, I don't think you understand the brilliance in their marketing strategy, because imagine if they weren't caught.
Absolutely.
Then getting the teams to match fix and force them to match fix for them to fund their own tournament. I mean, it's so fucking, insane and like delusive on so many levels. Like, I mean, it's just unbelievable that people actually think of that. I mean, when I see this, I think of an old American guy who got imprisoned, and then he couldn't afford to pay bail, so he made some kind of excuse that he was mentally ill to get the government to pay for it for him, and then he would go out on probation until his hearing. I mean, it's just mind-boggling, man. How some of these, like, the reasonings behind these can be like argumented for and even thought of. It's just out of left field, like totally.
Yeah, I've just seen a message in the chat from Ewan saying, I'm down if I get paid. Well, Ewan, they pay 45 euros per BO3, and that's... How much to chug the rest of this is the other question I've got. For the rest of this, God, that's about half a litre in there.
Jeez, well then you will get blasted in like 2 seconds. I'm pouring up my second glass now.
I'll put up a number for that in just a moment, Ollie. For you and though, how down if you get paid? It's 45 euros for every best of 3. If you want, I'll send you the Discord of the guys. But realistically speaking, if you end up with that kind of taint on your name, that will stick with you. Like, that will actually fucking stick with you. Like, the reason I've done well as a caster is because as a player, I was so fucking scared of getting, in shit with everyone that I just avoided all of it. And, that's worked off for me. I know M&J, for instance, I know he's in the chat. He had some drama with him in the Rainbow Six scene. That hasn't left him, and it's been about 2 years for that.
Oh yeah, people in the esports scenes remember us, man. It's just just fucking think about that. Like, people remembers.
Yeah, I mean, so I've always found quite funny. You look at streamers like Alinity, for instance. The second she puts out a tweet, bam, it's people going, "Oh, how's your cat?"
yeah, exactly.
Things like that. It's a constant. And
Well, it's
that's
this. Yeah.
it's just don't fuck up in the esports industry because they ain't gonna fucking forgive you.
Yeah, it's the same with Dr. Disrespect, Hey, how's your wife
Yeah.
doing?
Exactly.
Like.
Yeah. Right. How much do I like? What's the number I put on potential alcohol poisoning?
Well, if you give half of it to me, we can say like 2 quid.
£2. You strike a hard bargain, Puffin.
Yeah. Then I'll chug a couple of glasses as well.
For £2, but I could take 2 shots and get £2 from Ollie.
Oh really?
He's giving me I'm getting a quid, right? Or 100
Oh,
bits.
yeah.
Fuck knows how much 100 bits is translate into, but we've got 100 bits for every shot we... Actually, on that note, we'll take another shot.
Yeah. Cheers.
This is how we're paying for it.
Yeah. You know what? This is actually going to fund our podcast, and then we are purposely just going to avoid all topics just to get blasted, so we can afford to get the next one, like we learned from UFCA.
We do one one drinking podcast, one where we actually talk, another drinking one where we talk. But I think we're at the stage of buzziness. You got any topics you want to cover, by the way, Puffin?
Yeah, just 1 second. I just want to say real quick that the quest, like the key behind all of it, is that we're always gonna get drunk, So okay. on that note, I think we should talk about the CSPPA and how
that's a good one.
yes, and how Richard Lewis and Thorin just fucking blew open the entire scene with their one podcast of By the Numbers, and just blasted it from there. So, do you want to start on it?
Okay, right. I'll give a TLDR and then you can
Yeah.
So essentially what's happened is before a match, the CSPPA decided to strike out of nowhere because what was happening is tournaments were using information they've recorded from in-game teams. So say, for instance, Puffin is a team. He's got his friends. They represent Team Denmark. I represent Team UK, which means, of course, we're going to win. But as we give our strats, for instance, cunt strat number 1, Puffin, the production team that's going to hear me say cunt strat number 1 is going to record that, because that's how they do. You know how you have teams that it shows their reaction in TeamSpeak? That's from tournaments recording them. They'll get that, and then they would go ahead and give that to Puffin, and that is kind of like a massive, gross mismanagement of information. Because Puffin now knows what cunt strat number 1 is, and he can then use that to anti-strats. Massive issue, and it's a genuine, very serious issue. Potentially GDPR. GDPR, that's the one.
Yeah, GDPR.
Yeah, it's potentially a breach of GDPR and all this other shit.
Oh,
so
it is
really
a breach.
shit.
Yeah.
So everyone strikes, and at first it's like, yeah, fair enough, understand why they're striking. That goes ahead. They go on strike. It gets fixed. They start the match. They held the match hostage for 2 hours. They then went on ahead, and there was an announcement from every single org in the tournament, essentially, from EG, Furia, Astralis, Navi, Mouse Sports, Big. Every single one said, we've already agreed to this. This is something we've already covered. This wasn't a problem. And essentially what's happened is CSPPA are trying to show that they can do something rather than doing something. And so ESIC, of course the Esports Integrity Commission, have essentially gone, that probably wasn't the best idea. And CSPPA have then gone ahead and called them an illegitimate, which is fucking funny because you'll think that a player association would fucking love an Esports Integrity Commission. But apparently they both hate each other, which is fucking great. But that's essentially happened there, and that's caused essentially mass dispute between the two. Of course, fucking retards don't think that ESIC are probably going to be the only players on the planet who would ever be on their side with anything.
Yeah.
So that's gone to shit. But yeah, that's essentially the TLDR of what's happened.
Yeah, so what was actually going on? It's like the teams and the the recordings would not end up on my team in this scenario. It would not end up on my team directly, but the analysts would overtalk during the broadcast. And when they show these clips, they show like the clip in from a tournament a couple of years back where the FaZe Clan strat, like where they hear Yanko, the coach, talk about a strat they should do outside with Guardian, boost them behind some smokes, and then they show that on broadcast so everyone can see it, and then through that they can use it to anti-strat. And this is a big problem as well. And as Richard Lewis pointed out in one of his newest videos, was that he said that if you have what about the former analysts who's now turned coaches, you know, because they know some things about some strats, but they cannot unknow them, you know. So they have this package with them. So it's like it's just a part of you know, of the risk, but it also gives like this great content and great insight into teams which the most of the people don't really know about. So it's kind of this like there's this like two sides of a coin thingy going on here, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it's just gone to shit, frankly, because they used Chris J as kind of a spokesperson for CSPPA. And the idea is that having Chris J do it means that he takes the brunt of the kind of responsibility rather than the council making the actual decision.
Yeah.
And
he's a scapegoat.
Literally,
a scapegoat.
Exactly. And what's interesting is CSPPA, they had a when teams were kicked out of ESL, I think it was Ents and someone else, they were kicked out of ESL Pro
Penta.
League.
Penta and Havu, I think, as well.
Penta, Ents, Penta, and Havu were kicked out of ESL. No, it's Havu and Penta.
Havu and Penta, yeah.
We're kicked out of ESL Pro League like that. And CSPPA, all of which those teams were members of CSPPA, those CSPPA members just went, we can't help you, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, what about strike action then? I was like, no, it wouldn't have changed anything. I was like, well, that's when you fucking do it. Like, you do it when there isn't any other options.
Yeah, exactly,
so,
you know.
It's gone to fucking shit, because now they've gone on strike once. It makes you question. What about all the other times they didn't go on strike?
Exactly. Like you question their integrity, and also how can you like say you're a player association for everyone when you only pander to the tier 1 players? I mean, then at least say that you're a tier 1 player association, you know? So to tell people, like, instead of just having everyone come in and then just pay money to them and then not get any help, like Chaos, like for example, they also, like, Vanity tweeted out that they had a bunch of trouble in their team with different things, and that, like, they were never brought up on board meetings, you know. It's only about the tier 1s and the big people in there and the big names who's gonna get help from this player association.
Yeah. Absolutely. And yeah, it's just a shit show, really. I think we're of the same mindset that CSPPA as a useless fucking organisation should be dissolute at the first fucking chance. But
yeah, definitely.
We do have a question from chat that I'm gonna throw to you, Puffin.
All right.
I hope you've been reading chat. The question is, are you #Team Israel or #Team Palestine?
Okay, well, to understand that, I think you should maybe put it into context. So it's about the war you talked about last time, right? Just to really summarize it, it's this this war between Israel and Palestine around the border, and who controls what land, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do not know enough about this situation to give a qualified opinion on it. Sorry.
So I think we might need external, the person who's asked the question, to give us a bit of depth to his question. Essentially, now correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Israel are the Jews, Palestine are Muslims. That's my understanding of it. Essentially, at the end of the First World War, England, because, you know, we're so fucking good with our borders.
Yeah.
We essentially went, okay, Israel, we're going to draw you a lovely little nice area for you. And that is essentially all that you've missed.
So let's just imagine right now, you know, living as a shoutcaster and having a bad internet connection. You know,
it's that bad.
The pain, the pure and utter pain you feel, you know. I can feel it all the way here in Denmark.
Yes. As cool and collected as I am on the outside, I'm currently seething. It's not a happy man. However, we move. Here we are. It's back for the most part. Yeah, fuck, I can drink to that. Yeah.
Yes,
Alright,
let's drink to it being back.
So,
All right, so
I started this nice thing. It tastes great, but it's really.
So you were explaining about team. What was it? Team Israel versus Team Palestine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just kick it
Right.
off from there.
Yep. Okay. So, Team Israel, the Jews, Team Palestine, the Muslims. They're essentially the two sides here. At the end of the First World War, Britain went to Israel and went, "You helped us in the First World War. We're going to draw you out a nice little border. We're going to draw you out a nice little country. We're going to get our ruler, use some nice straight borders around the naturally occurring oil that we were looking for and you didn't know existed, and we're going to allow that to give you a beautiful country." All right, so Israel is formed.
Yeah.
Israel is made on top of on top of Palestine. So the Palestinians are like, "Awesome, what do we do?" And England goes, "And not our problem. Sort out yourselves." And so that's all gone to shit. By kind of culture and kind of heritage, it's Palestine. By legitimately owning it, it is technically speaking Israel, simply because it was given to them. For those who don't know, that's pretty much how Belgium came into existence as well. But you want a history lesson, Puffin, on how Belgium came into existence?
Oh yes, please enlighten me.
Sure. So essentially at the end of the Napoleonic Wars, Britain had fucked everyone up. We literally just taken France, we just cunted them, so not happy with any of this. So the issue is we don't like European hegemony and one power. So we essentially went to Germany and France and went, "We're gonna build a country," and they were like, "Huh?" And we were like, "Yeah." Just like that, Belgium was made, and Belgium was created as our flank between France and Germany. So, technically speaking, if you created a country out of thin fucking air, then you're doing pretty well for yourself. And we tried to do it again with Israel. Didn't quite work, because we hadn't really won a war against them directly beforehand. And so what that means is now that Israel has this very formidable country with a lot of geographical defenses, just like the mountain ranges around it, the desert to its south, and some very angry Jews who want to hold on to it like it's like it's anything. And that is essentially what's happened in Israel and Palestine. That being said, Puffin, are you Team Israel or Team Palestine?
Well, it's a very complex matter, because on the one hand you have the Brits who made this country. On the other hand, you have the natives, if you will call them that, who live there. So,
Yep.
if I vote for Team Palestine, it's essentially also saying that Team Israel, like Israel, shouldn't be there, because Palestine is the original owners of it, And to be honest, for being consistent with history, I think I might go with I have to go with Team Palestine on that one.
I think the general consensus is Team Palestine. So there's the answer to your question. External, both of us are Team Palestine.
Oh, you also Team Palestine. All right.
Yeah, I think that, to be honest, we should still occupy the whole thing. I think that England should still have a colony out in the Middle East, and we should just overthrow everyone. We should still own part of Egypt. Actually, fuck the Suez.
You know what?
Asked
Yes.
We asked another question at the start of the stream, which was, see if I can find it. See if we can find it. Was it racist? Yes, it was. Okay, we can't ask that one.
Okay.
The answer is probably no.
I have a new topic.
Go on.
Let's try and wrap up 2020 in 3 words, and then expand on it.
Okay. All right.
Do you want to start, or should I?
I think I've got it.
All right.
The world's fucking ending. Right. We almost had World War III in fucking January when America was sending missiles into I think Saudi Arabia.
Yep.
That was this year. The Australian forest fires. That was this year. That's how fucking awful.
The fucking hamstering of toilet paper, dude. It's more than half a year ago, you know.
Cunts who
at this point,
stole toilet paper should be tied to a post and fucking shot. Like
you could sell a roll on eBay for £10. No kidding.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
You know what's even? I'm not sure how it is in Denmark. We've just gone into tier 4 lockdown in most of the places around the UK. it's got even fucking worse.
Yeah, we have basically made a soft lockdown, so everything that's essential is open, but everything else is closed. So like supermarkets and you know the doctors and stuff and pharmacies are the only things that are open. Like fitness, everything, you know, everything is closed except for that.
That's just fucking awful, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
It's just fucking awful.
Good luck watching new movies, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right, what are your things? I think I expanded on mine pretty well there.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I have like 3 different words. So I have contradiction, because Jesus Christ, and hypocrisy.
God bless, man.
Again, almost explains itself, but I'm gonna elaborate. And the last point is I did not think of that one. Let's see.
God, you've committed to a question without knowing the answer to it. This is
Yeah. No, it came. You know, it just came to me.
Do you want a moment?
Yeah, give me a
I'll
moment. Yeah.
cover you. So my favorite dinosaur is the Stegosaurus. Now I really like Stegosauruses because not only are those cunts pretty fucking big, yeah, Stegosauruses are actually bigger than Triceratops, which is a common misconception. All right, they were thought to be about people kind of assume Stegosauruses are about the size of a man, actually about the size of a double-decker bus. Those things are fucking cool. All right. Also, not only that, but they're also pretty fucking long as well. All right, those cunts have got tails. Some of them have a little like looks like a walnut on the end of it, just to swing around and smash some T-Rex's fucking skull in. Of course, didn't usually happen. It was usually them just everyone kind of leaving them alone because it's like who the fuck would fuck with something that's made of fucking spikes. Gets even cooler, right? They would put blood into like the fans, like the fins on their spine to cool down, in the same way elephants do it with their ears. So that's pretty fucking cool. And for that reason alone, Stegosauruses are my favorite dinosaur.
Hashtag Team Stegosaurus. Okay, so okay, I found the last one. Okay, so just to recap, we have fucking depression. Oh, depression is the new one. Yeah, depression.
Okay.
Depression, hypocrisy, and contradiction. You know, the big 3.
Sounds about right.
Honestly, because you know, hypocrisy in that people don't want to wear masks until it's legally. People want to do it, and then what's contradicting is that the people who wear masks don't wear it properly. Like this is just one subject of it, and then like the depression of everyone just wants to go out and drink. And in Denmark, if you like when they opened a bit up, you could only go out and drink until 10, and then you had to go home. So people would literally go out and start drinking at 4 in the afternoon. And just fucking go on. Like there was this one Friday after I had like 3 hand-ins who had to be on the same date. I wanted to go out and get some beers with my friend. It was 7:30 and every single bar was completely booked, like completely full in one of the big cities in Aalborg where I live, and I live in the center in Denmark, and I live in the center of it, right? And every single bar, we talked like 20 bars. It was all like maxed out. It's utterly like incredible.
Yeah, that's to be honest. So wearing a mask that doesn't cover your nose is like wearing a condom that only covers your bollocks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's the fucking point.
Dude, I fucking love that meme, you know? It just fucking started trending, and
it's great. I love it. It's one of my favorites to come out of this kind of shit show of a year.
But you know, another thing that was a shit show, right? Was that Counter-Strike could be kept. People could keep playing Counter-Strike and on a professional level as well, and they could keep holding tournaments. But the problem was like, first of all, the format, right? And then fucking online CS is random as fuck. I mean, in what world in a LAN event would Heroic ever be number 1 in the world, or big for that matter? I mean. Just for sheer,
but like
you know, but it's like there's this caveat, but again, and this asterisk, but again, you could never know how good they actually were, like because there was no point, like they couldn't play LAN events, you know. And if they traveled, they had to be quarantined for 2 weeks, so that they had to get there like 3 weeks ahead if they wanted to get to like a LAN and then play in an empty stadium. And again, the same pressure does not apply there. So
No, absolutely.
And you know, I find it just so fucking amazing in some ways that like the two best LAN teams of 2018 and 2019 couldn't meet up in the final in the last event of the year as well. You know, I mean, it's just fulfilling in some way.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'll tell you what was my train of thought going before? What was I going to say? Cover for me, Puffin, quick.
A cover for you. Okay, so all the anti-vaxxers out there, get the fucking vaccine, because if you don't get the vaccine, either you're gonna get hit with COVID or you're gonna get autism. So.
Tell you what, actually.
I'm kidding.
Different. completely different side of what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Twitter accounts, Bad Medical Takes?
No.
Oh, it's fucking. Oh, it's Bad COVID Takes. That's it.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can bring up some of their their golden nuggets.
Oh yeah, please do.
Of like what has been like the last. It's just fucking incredible. It's a bunch of It's just another perfect little
a little jewel on.
A jewel of the internet, really. Yeah.
Yes, please.
So,
is it like the Reddit page? I'm going to hell for this before it got banned. You know. Do you know that one?
Just like that. Yeah. Let's see if I can find one here. We've got it's just a posts from fucking anti-vaxxers. It's like, people were saying, it's completely, COVID was created to hide a hidden agenda, and it's like, fucking hell.
Dude.
Don't get me wrong. It would surprise me if COVID was, like, if it was made, but like, you can't have something that elaborate. Like,
dude, honestly, no kidding, right? I had like one of my friends on Facebook, right? He started with this tinfoil, like completely conspiracy stuff, where he said some stuff like, do you experience more headaches recently? Well, it's probably because of the new 5G that's installed all over Denmark to get ready for the new phones, because 5G interferes with your brainwaves and something.
Yeah.
And then he said that COVID is just a conspiracy for the democracy, or for the government to rule over you and get an implant through the vaccine into you, so they know what everything you do, you know, and just I can go on and on and on, you know, and it's just like, and then he would reply to comments, well, yeah, you have no idea how COVID is, just read up on it, like, it's just fucking, they're gonna take control over you, and you will get a fine for just, like, walking on someone else's property, and, you know, it's just so fucking weird, you know, and dude, man, like, this year, right, has just shown me how fucking stupid some people are, like, honestly.
God bless, man.
Jesus Christ.
On the note of vaccinations, I've just had someone say in the chat, if one person was vaccinated every time I committed a war crime in Yugoslavia, the whole world would have autism. Fair play.
Well, would it be in Yugoslavia or just against their beliefs?
The former Republic of Yugoslavia, or was it former Macedonian Republic of Yugoslavia? I think it used to be called.
Yeah.
Which one? We need specifics here, because
if it's in Yugoslavia, then I'm impressed that you could travel there that much. But if it's for the crimes against their beliefs, then I would be as big of a sinner as you are, I think.
No, not against their beliefs, against their people. I have the mental image of kind of on his hands and knees, just planting landmines in just the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. Making people like women show their ankles, right?
Exactly.
Oh, damn.
Calm yourself up.
Yeah.
Specifically, ethnic Montenegrians, in brackets, puke. Is that right? It's probably racist, right?
Yes.
How many ethnic Montenegrians watch this podcast, Puffin? You're the one with the analytics. Not many. Okay.
I think we're fine. I could change. But again, if this at some point goes off, people wouldn't watch episode 3, you know, because they would probably watch episode 1, where we're more gentle and more, you know, like relaxed, and we don't.
We turn to the dark age.
Yeah, exactly, and we don't know much, and then we turn to the dark age, and then we just become like.
withering
Oh,
alcoholics.
yeah,
Really.
exactly. Yeah, alcoholics basically talking to each other over Discord and then have people watch it. So
Of course. Yeah, I've got the average 3 viewer stream with Puffin. I think you can probably count the pixels on your screen on your webcam right now. It's not your fault. I'm the one with the shit internet.
yeah, you
yeah,
are.
and
But at least
so-
the VOD is recorded on my
Oh,
end, so it's gonna be
yeah,
absolute
exactly.
silky smooth.
Yeah, for you guys on YouTube, you don't understand how easy you have it. I'll tell you what, fun game for you guys on YouTube. These Pringles behind me. This is sponsorship for a Fortnite tournament I'm covering till about early February. Watch how the arrangement of Pringles changes. That's between podcasts, me being a fat fuck and eating them, and then trying to rearrange them to make it look like they're still sealed.
And try and guess how many there are right there.
Yes. There's 25 cans there.
Ah, you shouldn't have told them.
No.
Okay,
No.
okay.
It's the thing.
Okay.
There's 25 cans there. How many do you think are empty?
Oh, okay. How big of a
that's
fat fuck are you, actually? It's basically
Exactly.
the
I mean,
question.
that is how much of a fat fuck creme de la creme. Now, I mean, I feel like a lot of you are going to be very close to the truth, but the closer you get, the more offended I will be.
But can you be offended, is the question.
I've been told I'm a blubbernaut, according to chat.
Blubbernaut. Can you explain
That's
that term to
It's
me?
a new one. Blubbernaut. You know how seals are made of blubber?
Yeah,
I guess a blubbernaut is like it's just a lot of blubber.
yeah.
I don't think it's a well-known term. I think it's just.
No, I don't know it. That's why I'm asking.
You don't know. Yeah, I think that's how I would see it. At least seals with a little blubber, just fat like a walrus maybe.
Ah,
But
alright.
I would be a fucking incredible walrus.
Yeah, you would have like the most incredible tusks. I can just feel like I can see it for me.
Like embodiment of testosterone.
Exactly.
Yeah. He said it's like a cosmonaut, but instead of talented, just huge.
Just fucking massive, you know.
I should do that.
Yeah, I can drink to that as well. All right, can we?
And this is really totally disgusting, by the way. But yeah.
Can we discuss the let's do a recap of 2020 in the CS scene. All right.
Yes, see.
So instead of talking about
TV quickly while you do
yeah,
this.
instead of talking about wildfires and all the depression in the world, let's talk about something positive or positive-esque at least with what has been like what's nice about what has been going well for 2020, but also like the bad things. I mean, the bad things are easy to do, you know, but there are some nice ones that I can think of at least right now.
Okay, let's see if I've got a tournament calendar for.
And I have a subject
we'll go
after I have a subject after this one as well. Just
Okay. Alright.
as a
Okay,
quick note.
so tournaments that have happened in Counter-Strike in 2020. Let's take a look at these completed tournaments. Bear with us, folks. Alright,
Technical difficulties. Then I'll then you cover for me and I'll
Yeah.
take a leak real quick.
Okay. Alright, you take a lead. Right, in that case, tournament results. We just ignore that for just a moment. Okay. Let's look at some upcoming tournaments actually that are still going to happen in December. We still have some more coming up. So we have the Battle of Latvia 2. Oh, that's interesting. Apparently that is as of 23 teams. Looks like Woolsung were the ones to win it. So congratulations to Woolsung. That finished 2 days ago on the 19th. These are the most recent tournaments that are being. We've also got the Yacht.com Predator Cup in Finland, because 128 teams entered that, and that was won by Ike. IQUE. That's lineup. Don't know lineup. They don't have a thing. Of course, we have the UFCA European Cash Cup, which was won by Skade and Project X, coming second. We then have the North American one, which was won by Yeah Gaming, followed by RGB, or RBG. Apologies. We then have the Yalla Cup. Now, Yalla actually meaning let's go in Arabic. So you'd think that is an Arab Cup. No, it's fucking Swedish. Now, that's not immigration working at its finest. I don't know what is. But that was won by B145 and run up by Little Mix. In terms of A-tier tournaments, let's see what else we have. Just same old, really. Topic of same old. We have Puffin returning to
I am
us.
back.
Here he is. And there we
So-
have it. Okay, here we have recent events. Right. Let's look at ones in December.
Can you
December 11th.
so have you found some positive things about 2020 for the CS scene?
I mean, you've got Kremer 3 now as a full-time caster, which sounds fucking great, to be honest. But yeah, that's
Living the dream,
actually,
right?
That's 2020. I've become a full-time caster. That, by some fucking miracle, that's happened.
Congratulations,
Shit.
man.
Thank you very, very much. We'll have to go. This is an in-joke that I've just been told, that we had the Azerbaijani-Armenian tournament, which was won by no one since the admins called it a draw, and no one won the prize pool.
Oh my god.
That was fucking
Dude,
incredible.
that's fucking fire, man.
That is actually incredible.
Whoever's writing that is a fucking legend, man.
I mean, that was amazing. Right. Okay. Anyway, so you want to give us some things that have happened in esports in 2020?
Yes.
And I'll follow up.
All right. So, the first thing that comes to my mind is Tessa's joining Heroic, which seems to get them to become a greater team, where they play some kind of Counter-Strike that is not traditionally Danish per se. It's like Danish-esque in the style of it, and it's like very pleasing to see that top teams that are not North and that are not Astralis who can play in a different methodology and in a different way than what those two teams play and the quote-unquote Danish method. And I found that really, really nice to see. And as well, like with the online era is both a positive and a negative, but they can, like the fact that they managed to reach the top and win some tournaments, legitimate tournaments as well, in this online setting. It was like, it's an incredible thing for me, at least as a Dane, to see, and it's very like promising to see as well, because I can't wait to see them on LAN, you know. And another like positive / negative, you know, it's in the limbo as well. It's like the S attack to Cloud9 move, which is me maybe being pessimistic, but S attack played in Astralis for 4 months, right? In 4 months, and in 4 months in Astralis, it managed him to get the one of the best paying contracts in Counter-Strike as a whole. And before that, he was in Heroic, and he has been in Heroic for like 4 years, where he had done everything. He had been calling, he had been lurking, entry, or you name it. He's done everything, right? So he's a very versatile player, and he was used as basically Sipnix's replacement until Sipix came back from his break, and you know, he did a tremendous job. He played well, but he also played well enough that the move of him coming to Cloud9 is both a positive for Cloud9, but it's also a negative in some sense, because if you look at the time and the fact that he hadn't played on a LAN with Astralis, but the time that he played in Astralis was like very productive, very positive. But the fact is, you have no reassurance that that's going to happen on LAN as well.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's like a couple of things, you know, and it's just from the Danish side. From a more international side is like the ESIC investigation. I mean, the fact that people are hitting down on these very important factors like match fixing and the coach bug is a truly remarkable thing. And I think it's doing the right thing for the Counter-Strike space, and it's like honestly just propelling it into a more professionalized stage, even though it's still in limbo between like professionalized and just a hobby stage, even amongst the pros. I mean, it's very business-like-esque, but it's still like the players who has a lot of control about like how they want to play and what teams they have and so on. So it's not this like Korean-esque culture where it's normal in sports, you know, where the coach decides everything and then, you know, players have no say. But in right now we have this nice change where we can have this really big impact of the players in their scenes and like in their spaces, and they understand and they know that they can get away with stuff, but they also know and they can identify who they want to play with and why they want to play with them. I mean, it's a very very good thing to do as well. So generally, it's just been a very positive way in that sense. But in the bad sense is that everything has been online, and with everything being online, sure, you have reached the highest amount of peak players in Counter-Strike as well, and the peak viewers as well, since everyone has been inside and fucking locked down, so they couldn't do anything but watch stuff. And apparently, somehow out of nowhere, like so many people have some kind of connection to Counter-Strike, and that was unheard of before of this pandemic, which I believe will help Counter-Strike grow when LAN comes back, because it's just gonna generate so much more hype, which is it normally does, you know. So it's just amazing and incredible in that sense as well. So I mean, there's a lot of parameters that makes it good and bad, and honestly, this year, I think, no joke, I think honestly that that the COVID pandemic has helped the Counter-Strike scene for whenever we get the vaccine in and everyone takes it and everything gets back to normal.
No, I absolutely agree. I think that in terms of casting as well, so from a caster's perspective, when things go back to LAN, there are going to be so many casters who are going to be so hungry to give their absolute best at a LAN hall. It's going to be incredible. It genuinely will be incredible. And I think as a caster myself, I'm looking forward to when LANs kick up, just because we're going to have so much work. It's going to be great. And because, you know, we get to deliver the best thing possible. Topic of teams coming out in 2020 as well. Project X, a Ukrainian team. Essentially, Project X is a team that just got min-maxed by their org. I promise you that they will be one of the best teams going forward into 2020. They will break into that tier 1 scene. I guarantee it. Same for Gambit youngsters.
Well,
both teams are so good.
Can you
it's untapped potential. It really is.
Can you elaborate why Project X exactly? Like who's on that team and why are they gonna break tier 1?
Okay, so Project X, they are a really strong team comprising of Demq, Psycho, Sergey's, 2 other players who are also very talented, and they've been together for so long. They've shown such a steady improvement that they're now going into tier 2 tournaments and stomping. Like, it's only a matter of time before they go into a tier 1 tournament and they really start showing their worth. Because I haven't cast a tournament they've been in without them placing top 4. Like, they are so good, and they are beating some seriously good teams. So I really look forward to see how they'll fare.
Yeah, this is a place where you know more about that team than I do. So how exactly do you like you say they played together for a long time? I mean, I imagine a bit like Forza, right? Yeah, like Forza, right? But how exactly are they good? Like, do they have like what is their method? Like, do they have one good player, or do they have a lot of great team skill, or three good players and 2 supporting?
2 supporting players. I generally want the supporting players, and they are just aggression in bucket loads. What's the most aggressive team you can think of?
Like Furia.
On the level of Furia.
Okay.
They're European Furia.
All right.
They're entertaining to cast because they're just so flashy. They've got that kind of like Brazilian flair by being Ukrainian. They're genuinely just a treat to cast, and I absolutely can see them like popping off and going huge into next year.
Yeah. The thing is, like, Gambit has been a lot, like, they have been more publicized. Like, people know more about Gambit. Like, I mean, the thing is, because I'm a Dane, I know about Gambit because they won the Copenhagen Games in 2018, which they were invited to, you know. So I was there. I saw them. I know about them. I know about Shiro's potential, and I know about their team in general, you know. So that's not a big surprise to me, because I know for a fact that they are gonna break tier 1 and they're gonna be fucking incredible for next year. But I've never heard about Project X, honestly.
I promise you, when Project X picks up by a big org that can give them funding, they're just gonna go huge. They generally will.
But
and I can't wait for the day where they do.
are they called Project X because they do not have an org, or is the
Yeah,
organization?
placeholder. It's placeholder. They've been under Project X as a placeholder for so long. It's kind of become like a kind of player org. It's kind of a meme in itself.
Yeah.
But genuinely, they are so good. I cannot wait to see them pop off.
Do you know why? Do you know why they haven't found an org?
I think it's because of COVID. That's the reason they were dropped from Crazy, because they just didn't have the money. I think that because of COVID, they can't really advertise LAN funding and things like that, they can't. Orgs can't advertise teams to go to LAN, which would be very hard to secure funding. So I think that there's going to be a massive injection of money as well when LANs come back.
Oh yeah, dude, man, the fucking market is gonna fucking
boom.
boom. It's gonna boom, dude. Like, it's gonna be so crazy. Like, there's gonna be lands everywhere, and there's gonna be plenty of opportunities for both hosting and casting. I mean,
yeah, without a doubt. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is essentially 2020 wrapped on up. I mean, and perfect. We've had all sorts of topics covered today. It didn't really get as drunk as the last one. We're not quite slurring, but definitely have a bit of a buzz, and I see that Puffin is definitely enjoying that beer a lot more than I'm enjoying this shit. Again, it started really well, but God, it just gains on you this awful sweetness from the core of the back of your mouth. Ignis, go fuck yourself. That is essentially what I can educate you guys on today in terms of vodka. But yeah, Puffin, you got any kind of closing thoughts or statements?
No. You know what? I think this was a good end of the year episode, and then we can pick it up in the new year and see how things have evolved from there. Honestly, yeah.
Absolutely. Depends how hungover we are from other celebrations.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll find time in amongst piss ups for another piss up. So
Definitely.
Again, I hope you guys all have a wonderful Christmas and a wonderful New Year, depending on when we bring out the next episode. But until then, we will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.